Time for a little video update. This is Wednesday evening, January the 6th. Winter storm warnings remain in effect. We're updating this around 8:15, 8:30 or so this evening. We'll start in close in. This is around 8 o'clock in the evening. This is the St. Louis Doppler radar site. The snow has now made it into southern Illinois as expected. We thought the light snow would begin to spread out of St. Louis and Missouri into the Illinois, covering most of the Illinois counties by 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. The steadier snow would take a little while to fill in behind that as the atmosphere continues to saturate. And we're starting to see signs of that really solid, more solid band of light to occasionally moderate snow now in the greens and the blues. This is a much more solidified looking area that's growing in intensity from Lincoln County into Pike County, south into St. Charles County, Washington County, and extending west and southwest into there. This is kind of the tail end of the warm air advection snow, and we're starting to see some of the influence from the left front quadrant of that jet streak as it presses into Kansas. That will become the predominant snowmaking machine for us as we approach midnight and beyond tonight. But we're beginning to see the ramp up in the snow activity as we saturate the lower levels even more and we get that additional lift. So look for snow rates to increase somewhat between now and about 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. Switching over to the regional radar view, you can see how the warm air advection snow over eastern Missouri heading into southern Illinois has really been zapped by the dry air, but starting to get some increase, as I mentioned, on the close-in view out here over the western third of the viewing area, and then a dramatic increase in the left front quadrant of that jet streak as it begins to drop through Kansas. The actual jet stream itself is going to run right through in here as you follow the finger and the cursor here, just along and south of Interstate 70, and that will take this band of enhanced snowfall right along Interstate 70, pressing on to the east. So at this point, it would look like areas south of the line from, say, Rolla to about Farmington to about Mount Vernon in Illinois will probably see less snow, a pretty quick tapering off south of that line. North of that line, that's where the significant accumulating snow is going to occur. So it looks like the heart of the viewing area, once again, still in line for this pocket of very intense lift as it lifts on to the east, pushes almost due east along Interstate 70. Now, interestingly enough, you can see there's kind of a breakout here to the west between the intense lift near Kansas City and then a little bit of a break, and then this next area just to the west, that actually is the frontogenetically forced or the temperature gradient forced low-level type snow that will sweep in first thing tomorrow morning. One of the latest runs of the high-resolution rapid refresh, the super high-res WRF model, at 250 millibars, that's the wind output that we're able to get, but it shows pretty clearly that jet streak diving across Kansas. This is, as of right now, 2 o'clock UTC, or about 8 o'clock this evening, which is roughly the current time. You can see the nose of that jet stream diving into Kansas. The front left quadrant is going to be right out in here, right where we're getting the heavier snow breakout across eastern Kansas and western Missouri. Also notice that the height lines are difluent aloft. That follows through with the 500 millibar flow. So we're getting some good general lift continuing to develop out over central Missouri into eastern Kansas. And as we march this forward in time, through 4 o'clock, 5 UTC. Here's midnight, and you can see how that jet stream energy rapidly translates to the east and southeast, maximizing the lift over the St. Louis area, over much of the viewing area, around roughly midnight tonight. Once again, using the high-resolution rapid refresh, we're going to use the composite reflectivity. And again, this bears out roughly what's going on right now, so this matches reality pretty closely. You can see in Illinois, it was showing the snow just now making it to the I-55 corridor and just now passing over Scott Air Force Base and points to the east. The steadier snows in the darker green beginning to enter in that area that we showed you on the radar, lining up from Lincoln and Warren and St. Charles County to the west and southwest, and then even more enhanced snow along the jet axis out west, extending through Sedalia, where they've had half-mile visibility at Whiteman Air Force Base, and also occasionally half-mile visibility in snow pockets all the way out west through Kansas. I'm going to march this forward in time. That is 9 p.m. St. Louis time, 10 p.m. St. Louis time, 11 p.m. St. Louis time, and midnight St. Louis time. And you can see through that period, the heaviest snow will begin to refocus to the east towards the Missouri River or Mississippi River, right on the Metro St. Louis area and much of the Fox 2 News viewing area. That's why I think the heaviest snow falls between roughly 9 p.m. and probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning in this next batch. Then we have to watch the trailing end here. This is that temperature advection snow where we start to get the squeezing of the temperature gradient. And as we push that forward in time, that fairly intense, almost convective-like band of snow should roll through here just in time or just before the morning rush hour. Right now it's timed out to about 10 or 12 Z, which is roughly 4 to 7 o'clock in the morning here in St. Louis. So the way it looks right now, the most intense snows. As far as snowfall amounts are concerned, haven't really changed thinking a whole lot. Looks like 1 to 3 inches over the far southern tier of counties, and I mean really far south, down south of Rolla, down into Iron and Reynolds County. Most of the viewing area is still looking at 3 to perhaps 6, although the dry air on the onset of this thing has eased the threat of widespread 6-inch amounts. I still think a 6-inch amount is possible, mainly north of St. Louis, but on average we'll keep the totals between 3 on the low side to 6 on the high side. And the heaviest area of concentrated snow still looks like it's going to end up there across northern Illinois into eastern Iowa, spreading up into Wisconsin. That's going to be in the core of the coldest air and in the prime area to the northeast of the upper level low. Recapping those highlights, snow should be picking up in intensity over the next few hours between now and midnight for sure, with the heaviest snow falling from on average between 10 p.m. tonight and about 2 a.m. in the morning. That'll be followed by a period of lighter snows that will continue for several hours before one last burst of heavier snow tries to move in, and that looks like that should be just before or during the morning rush hour. Overall, total accumulations will range from, on the low side, 3 inches to a few spots as high as 6 inches. Looks like the heaviest amounts are most likely along the Missouri River and points north in Missouri and along and north of Interstate 70 in Illinois, so roughly where those winter storm warnings are currently in effect from the National Weather Service. Liquid to snow ratio is running a little lower than previously anticipated, 12 to 18 to 1, still making for a dry snow that's going to be blown around rather easily once the winds begin to pick up later on tonight. And it still looks like, looking at the 0Z model runs coming in from the NAM, from what I've been able to see, that another round of light snow will be picking up on the backside of this during the afternoon and evening hours on Thursday. The potential is there for maybe an additional inch during the evening hours, although it'll be hard to measure because of the strong and gusty winds. Bottom line is this is remaining a high impact storm, especially because of the strong winds, the tumbling wind chills, and the light to occasionally moderate with bursts of heavy snow mixed in on and off through tonight and into the wee hours tomorrow morning.